Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Friday morning, April 26, 2024. We get together most weekday mornings at this time to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. Most of you who join us for the Zooms, either regularly or occasionally, are our distribution partners and or considering becoming one. And so everyone's welcome, but I'll target you today versus a general audience. So if you are one of our branch offices, welcome aboard and thank you for the opportunity to collaborate. What we do is of course legal and ethical. It's important, it's needed. Together we help build financial literacy and increase access to capital through the startup program. The topic today is asking about your urgency. And we're going to look at this a few different ways, but essentially, we're going to talk more about the psychological or the mindset that we all have. So let's start with a very basic question. What is the difference between an entrepreneur and an employee? So if you could go ahead and respond into the Zoom Q&A, the question and answer, it's like a chat box. If someone were to ask you, hey, Pearlie, what's the difference between being an employee and an entrepreneur? Rosalind, Zahn, Mr. Johnson, we have 313 of you on. Dr. Davis, just type a quick response of what do you think is the difference in the people that want to be employees versus people that want to be entrepreneurs. Curious of what your opinion is. And you could spin it a little bit differently. What does it take to be a successful entrepreneur that it may not take to be a successful employee? Okay, so we got a number of responses, and go ahead if you've not responded yours, but I'll attempt to summarize. So differences between entrepreneurs and employees. Well, what many of you have said already is it's about motivation. Typically, employees have to be motivated. They have to be told what to do. Not in all cases, this is a generalization, but in general, employees are told what to do. They're held accountable by their boss. So they have a boss. There's ramifications if they don't do what they're told to do. Where entrepreneurs, it's self-motivation, isn't it? Other than your bank account, there's no one else telling you what to do. Either you have intrinsic, which means internal motivation, or you probably won't be successful as an entrepreneur. It's a much different work life. It's a much different experience. There's no one that tells you have to be at work at a certain time and that you have to work 8 hours, when you can take breaks, when you can take days off. You have freedom, but with freedom comes responsibility and motivation. And so several of you have said motivation is a key difference. Some people, maybe you could argue many people, but at least some people fail to be entrepreneurs because they lack the motivation. It's not urgent enough. It becomes more optional, becomes more of a hobby. All right, so we had some other responses. Some of you gave more of a textbook description. Yeah, an entrepreneur works for themselves, an employee works for someone else. That's right, Holly. But I'm trying to get not so much to the structure, but to the mindset difference. So if there's anyone else has, but we'll even stop with motivation because that ties to today's topic. So there's other things well, all right. So let's go ahead and hit a couple others. So entrepreneurs don't want limited income. So as an employee, typically you have a set pay, maybe you have a comp plan with incentives, but entrepreneurs, you earn as much as you're worth. That doesn't always feel good if you're not making much money, but entrepreneurs literally earn their true value in our economic system. where employees, you could be really, really good at something, but your income may be maxed out. All right, so there's others, but let's stick with that for a moment because those are two really good ones. So each of you who are current branch offices, you are the CEO of your branch office. So let's go ahead and write that just to make sure. So we'll type it differently. If you enrolled in the Opportunity Fund, which is the same thing as a branch office, you are the CEO of your business. I hope that you see it that way. And so, but what does that mean? That means you're in charge, you make the decisions, you don't have to work it alone. You can bring in staff, W-2, 1099, referral partners. You're running a business. And I don't want to insult you. Most of you are very successful people and you've ran many businesses, large businesses in many cases. But I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. That your branch office, and we'll put a point underneath it, if I could spell correctly, your branch office should generate at least 100,000 per month. Now, again, you manage your branch, so hopefully you have financial projections and you have a plan. And if not, we can help you with any of that. But if you don't see that your branch office is $1 million a year business, you're in the wrong seat. You need to, frankly, step aside and hire someone else to be the CEO of your branch because your mind's not in it. And it's okay to be the owner of a company and not run the company, right? So you can own multiple companies, but you may have other people that run it for you. That's your manager, your CEO, or director, what have you. But, are you all of that mindset? Because it starts with having the understanding, and the analogy I often use is if we were to go out and buy a franchise together, a McDonald's or a Domino's Pizza, whatever franchise you want. You are an entrepreneur, but now there's corporate, quote unquote, that's setting goals and expectations over you. Well, we're not Big Brother, but I mean, you should be generating 100,000 a month. Now, if that seems outlandish, break it down. And remember, we have the certification training, which is free. It's on the Chapman Loan Program. You're generating around 25,000 per enrolled client. So if our goal is to make a minimum of 100,000 a month, what do we need? We need 8 clients because we do a 50-50 split, right? That's the model that we have. So we want to find a way that every one of you makes at least $100,000 through your branch in May. Now, some of you have accounting background and some of you don't. So let's talk about 2 accounting methodologies. There's the cash system, and then there's the accrual system. Anyone familiar with the difference, other than those of you that are CEOs? Who can anyone respond into the Q&A? What's the difference between the cash basis of accounting and accrual basis of accounting? You probably learned this in Accounting 101, maybe in high school, maybe in college, maybe in graduate school. But you need to know the difference. They're both real. They're both what's called generally agreed upon accounting principles. They're both GAAP compliant. But businesses can run one of 2 different ways. All right, Larry's got it pretty close. So cash accounting is where you're only counting the cash when it comes into your pocket or leaves your pocket, or comes into your bank account or leaves your bank account. So we'll record that. So when money actually comes or goes. And you might say, well, that makes sense. Anything else sounds kind of off. Doesn't sound right. Well, accrual recognizes transactions when they are booked. So, for example, if I promise to pay you $1,000, that's accounts receivable to you, accounts payable to me. So if you're using the accrual method of accounting, then your business's value just went up by 1,000 because I've promised to pay you $1,000. In the cash basis, until the money hits your account, you wouldn't count it. And you might say, well, this accrual, that sounds like funny math. That's not legitimate. That's how most businesses operate. Almost all publicly traded companies, for example, operate this way. So no, this isn't some funny way to do numbers to make things look better. This is the predominant model for businesses, not the, oh, let's be clever. Why do I bring that up? Well, because when a branch enrolls a client, you have immediate accounts receivable. So that there's money that's contractually promised to you from the client. May not have been paid yet, may not have even been earned yet. So for example, let's say that you put in a performance fee. Let's say you put in a 10% performance fee. You sign the client up today. Do they owe you a performance fee today? Of course not, right? There's not been any capital raise. But depending upon how you write your contract, and we can provide you language, there can be that commitment from the client, that promise. So from an accrual perspective, that client has more value to you in addition to any other obligations that the client has. So why do I bring this up? So yes, 8 clients should project out on the accrual basis to bring you 100,000 a month. But I'm not saying, okay, let's go all get active in May. We'll enroll 2 clients a week, 8 clients in the month, and by May 31st, you'll have 100,000 received in your bank account. No, because performance fees have a lag, right? We've got to get the business enrolled. We have to get them fundable. Then they have to get funded. But if we can just have more urgency and enroll more clients, we'll increase our income. And then eventually, after a month or two, we'll actually see this amount of deposits going into our account. So there's a bit of a ramp up time, right? Not ramp up to enroll clients, but for the performance fees to come in. When I've talked to several of you, it's interesting, and I guess it's true in anything. There's like haves and have-nots. And so some of you are clearly the haves. Some of you drive cars that cost more, that's worth more than the houses of the have-nots. Some of you have watches like Larry Johnson. Larry, type in there, your Rolex, was it 47,000, Larry? Some of you have watches that are worth more than the cars of the have-nots. We live in a society of haves and have-nots. But what's interesting is anyone can be a have. You all can be a Larry Johnson. But what we need to do is have some urgency in managing our branch. So the point today is what I would like to ask you to consider. Again, you're the CEO of your business. I'm your advisor, your consultant, mentor if you want, but it's up to you. You run your business. I would change my mindset. And so what's the point? Have urgency to enroll 1 client per day. That's what the haves do. So you get up in the morning, and of course, you're exercising, you're eating breakfast, you're making love to your spouse, whatever you do first thing in the morning. But in the back of your mind, you're thinking, I need to enroll a client today. Just like if we ran Domino's Pizza, I need to sell some pizzas today. A day without selling any pizzas and owning Domino's is a pretty shitty day. If you own a branch and we don't enroll at least 1 client a day, it's a pretty shitty day. We're missing opportunity. And you might say, oh, Tom, you don't understand. I've got kids, I've got a job, I've got hemorrhoids, I've got all these excuses. Then we need to build a sales team, don't we? We'll provide everyone on your sales team a landing page like is shown in the background here. We've shown you how to get leads for them for either nothing or next to nothing. Build a sales organization. I mean, run your fucking business like a business. This can't be some I'm struggling, I'm broke, I don't have any money. That's ridiculous. You're entirely missing the opportunity. So let's have an urgency to enroll a client a day. Now, will every day work out that way? No, no. But it comes back to what several of you like to say is every day is payday as a branch office. Well, guess what? If we enroll a client every day, we should be getting money in every day. That's much better than waiting for once a month or once every 2 weeks or once a week to get paychecks or to get paid from some third party. You literally have the ability to make every day payday by simply enrolling a client a day. Now we'll back up and say, well, that sounds great conceptually, but how do I make that happen? So let's remember there are 3 things that you do. Now, when I say you, I mean your branch. You can delegate any of it, but there's 3 things, and we've covered this before. So you need to generate leads, you need to educate leads, and you need to enroll leads. You can outsource or delegate 1, 2, or all 3 of those, right? We talked recently about how, so let's put an asterisk, and we'll put a note. You can outsource all 3 via the client placement program. And so we just talked about Sally. Is Sally on here today? No, Sally again's not on here, unfortunately. But let's use Sally as a case study. So we'll do Sally case study. Sally, for whatever reason, didn't have any enrollments last week. And I told you this story before. It's a true story, but she didn't have any enrollments last week. So she was out of compliance. So she bought 2 CPPs, 2 client placement programs. These are not leads. These are contracted clients. And I can't remember the name. I'm not that good with names. But so she bought 2 CPPs for $500 because they're $250 a piece. One of which already, and the second one may have by now. I don't know. I've not checked emails. It's so early, but at least we'll say at least one of which has paid her the $2,500 up front. I'm 100% sure of that. 100% sure. So essentially, as a branch, there are 3 things that you need to do. And the point today isn't to go through in detail to teach you how to generate leads, educate leads, and enroll leads. We have other training, and we can support you on that. But the bottom line is either you need to do this well or you need to outsource it. If not, your branch is going to fail. And we can talk more about, we've talked about the rewards of having a well-operating branch. A failed branch sucks, right? Because now you owe the license fee. Right? Everyone signed, and you said that you'd come in, and after a 30-day grace period, you'd be minimally active and enroll at least 2 clients a week. We'll bust our ass to help you enroll at least 2 clients a week. We'll provide you the freaking clients if you're so unable for whatever reason. But through the client placement program, we have to have some urgency. What I frequently see is there's lots of excuses. And I'm not saying they're invalid excuses. You all know I have stage 4 cancer, right? I'm on narcotics 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't sleep through the night. If you get up during the middle of the night, take more narcotics to get through the night. We all have issues, right? Different people have different issues, but we all have issues. So I think there's one thing that we could do that will make this work. So let's have a daily, if I move the cursor, checklist. Now, what a lot of people have are excuses at the top of their checklist. I've got this, I've got that, I can't, I won't, whatever. But let's move that down a notch. So keep all those excuses. Those are so important, very important. But we're going to move them to number 2. So let's make a sale today. Get that sale out of the way. So that way we're on track to do a deal a day. Then let's sit around and let's then worry about our excuses. That's all I'm asking. Let's make a sale today and tomorrow and Sunday. Oh, tomorrow's a weekend. It's Saturday. It doesn't matter. Make a sale. Sunday, oh, it's Sabbath day for some. Doesn't matter. Let's make a sale. So every day, let's make a sale. Once we have that sale that now you've been paid, so you're making money, you're on track for 100,000 a month, then we'll agree to sit around and we'll talk and we'll make excuses. Let's just reorder them, because I think a lot of you do excuses first and we never get to number 1. So what do you think? What is, I'm going to look for interaction or response from each of you now in the Q&A. What is keeping each of you from making one sale today? Because it has to come, go ahead and type it in if you would, everyone. Is it's either you don't have leads, or you're shitty at educating leads, or you're shitty at enrolling leads, right? Because there's only 3 things you do. There's only 3 things that you do. If you can't do any of those well, then outsource it. If you need help with those 3 things, I'm paid to help you do those things. Let me know what you need. But what's keeping you, Bernard, from making a sale today? And then after we get that sale out of the way, yep, we'll spend as much time as you want talking about excuses, why maybe you can't get a second one or third one. But I want to know what's keeping you, Bernard, from making a sale today. Katori, what is keeping you from making one sale today? Because you're not going to convince me that there's no small business owners that need funding. There's lots of small business owners. So there's definitely a need. So then the issue is probably, do you know who to talk to? And then do you know how to educate them? And then do you know how to enroll them? Okay. So Charles, what is keeping you from making a sale today? What we're going to do, I guess it's essentially the excuses. I'm doing the opposite of what I said, but we'll play along. I'm looking for your number 1 excuse from every one of you why you don't make a sale today. So Charles, why in the world can you not go find one client that wants to raise capital today? Why can you not use the 4-phase graphic, which we've taught you to use, to explain what we do, how we do it, and how they'll be able to raise at least $250,000? Put the guarantee in the contract. If their concern is risk of loss, then put the guarantee in the contract. If you want to make the $2,500 that they pay up front, make it a refundable deposit that they get paid after they pay the performance fee. If they don't have the $2,500, collect the $500 from them, the down payment. If they don't have $500, then put them on your sales team so they can go help other people bring leads into you, and then you pay them something so they can earn income. But I just need to know the excuse why everyone doesn't make a sale today. So Holly, let me know, what's your excuse? Why can you not make a sale today, Holly? Why can you not help someone today? Why can your business that you're the CEO of not make money today? Jeanette, what do we need to do today? Jawan, what's keeping you from making money with your business today? Keith, Keita, Larry, well, Larry's going to probably sell 5 people today. Pauline, Pearlie, Rosalind, Celino. We have a large group. Zon, Tim, what's keeping you? Now, Heather brings up a good point. Forgive me, Heather. Her excuse is, why I've got big Zooms coming up next week. Okay, great. What about today? Right? So, sure, great things happening next week, but let's make a sale today. So what we're agreeing to do is, sure, there's all these reasons. I have to go get chemotherapy this afternoon. That's inconvenient. I'll probably be nauseous. Great. Well, I better make the sale beforehand, right? So let's go find a way to stop making excuses. And once you get of the mindset that you want to make money and you're earning money, then it becomes a habit. But if our habits are that of an employee mindset where we have to have someone looking over our shoulder telling us what to do, we need to go. All right, so Jeanette says, I need capital to buy leads. I'm going to call bullshit on that. I mean that respectfully. You do. You don't need to buy any leads. You don't need to buy any leads. Let's go reinforce that. So let's go down here. Let's change the page to the Chapman website. All of you hopefully have gone through this certification. Now, I'm even afraid to bring this up because for people with the employee mindset, they'll say, oh, well, I better go spend some time getting trained. I'm not ready to sell yet. Bullshit. Our most successful people are selling clients within 24 to 48 hours of becoming a branch. You can watch these 5 training modules in 2 to 3 hours, and you can get leads for nothing. For nothing, Jeanette, for nothing. And it's in module 3, how to get leads for free. How to get leads for free. So, yeah, let's go I want everyone to make all the excuses you can think about, and let's just wallow in them after we've made a sale today. Let's make some money for your branch. Let's make your business profitable. And then we can sit back and we'll talk about all the excuses. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's rainy. It's too sunny. There's people that have problems. They want and need funding to start or grow a business. You have an ethical, legal, effective, and if you want, guaranteed solution to solve that. And no one can walk away because of price, right? So some of you say, well, price objections. And I call bullshit on it. Price objections. So how much does a startup program cost? Normally, they're going to pay you $2,500. Oh, I don't have $2,500. Okay, well, you can pay $500 down. We'll finance the rest at 0%. Oh, no, I don't have $500. Well, then, great. I'll hire you. You broke entrepreneur. You want to own a business, but you're stone cold broke. I will hire you and you become a referral partner of mine. I'll pay you $250 each time you refer someone that enrolls. Because what they need is earned income, right? If let's put this point. If someone does not have at least 500, they're called broke, but that's okay. We love broke people. So don't turn away broke people. Then they need earned income. And you can provide it for them. And every time you pay them, they're making you money. You've got to think as a CEO. It's so simple. There's no objections for price. Either they pay, or they pay the down payment, or you hire them. Now, what I love are entrepreneurs that say, well, no, I don't want earned income. It's like, well, wait a second. The definition of entrepreneur means you go sell some good, some product, some service to a customer to make money, right? So if whatever you're selling is not selling, or you're not able to sell it yet, then each of you have something that they can go sell. They can go pitch. Maybe they just go generate the leads for you. Maybe they teach the workshops. Maybe they're just, maybe they're closers for you. You can decide. But ultimately, here's the discussion for today. I encourage each morning, well, first of all, I encourage you to run your branch like $1 million business, which it should be. Secondly, when you get up each morning, start with a checklist and make sure that this is number 1. And then just set aside all the excuses to number 2. Say, yeah, I'm going to get to that. Like, have you ever needed to clean your kitchen? So maybe you don't do it immediately, but you say, okay, I'm going to clean the kitchen after I go to the grocery store. Okay, well, we're going to worry about excuses. We can spend 6 hours today worrying about excuses, but we agreed to not worry about the excuses until we've made a sale. Because again, you've got people like Mr. Johnson, his car is worth more than most people's houses. His watch is worth more than most people's cars. Why does Larry Johnson make so fucking much money? Not, no offense, Larry, it's not because he's really any smarter than the rest of us. He has an entrepreneurial mindset. He's focused on, let's go make a sale today and I'll make my excuses later. Let's go make a sale today. 3 things that you do. If you need help with any of those, you let us know. We will help you. We've probably already figured out any issues that you're having. We just need to know from you. And if you want to outsource it, use the client placement program like Sally did. So again, Sally's a real person. Sally's a branch. She bought 2 CPP. She spent $500, $250 a piece. And at least one of them, the second one I think might have paid last night, but I'm not sure. But at least one of them already has paid her. She's in the profit and she's compliant. So is there anything that we can do for you right now? Of course, you know our phone number, you know our email, one-on-one support is important. But from a group session today, we've got to get away from excuses. I don't have money to buy leads. Well, then let's bootstrap it. We'll buy leads later. That's a great excuse. We're going to put that number 2 on the list, Jeanette. Let's go make a sale today. Now, certainly you have to have leads to have someone to educate, and you should be educating them before you enroll them. So if what you're saying, Jeanette, or anyone else, is I just simply have no leads, then the first thing I'd ask you to do is to go back and watch modules 2 and 3. And the second thing I'd ask you to do is let's schedule a one-on-one, because I failed you, right? If in our environment, our economy, you can't find people that need money to start or grow a business, then I failed you, because they're all around you. And I think if you ask Larry candidly, and he probably won't admit it, Larry pulls up and, Larry, what's the model of your car? Larry pulls up to the gas station and 5 people walk up to him and say, Larry, wow, how in the hell did you afford, what is it, a Maybach, Larry? You know, you can be your own marketing. That's where we talk about BNI and networking and so forth. But regardless, 3 things that you do starts with generating leads. If you don't have leads, that's valid. Then we need to resolve that. If you have leads, then we need to educate them. We should be educating them using the 4-phase graphic. There's an on-demand version of that right here. And we teach you how to teach it right here. And then so once you've educated them, if they see what's in it for them, I have some of you that say, well, you know, I've not raised enough capital yet, and I have to be a personal success story. That just means you have no credibility with your prospects. Let's get a different prospect pool rather than your uncle that you tried to sell Amway to 6 months ago, or Tupperware 2 years ago, right? Let's get a different prospect pool that have a problem. They want money to start or grow a business. Let's educate them how it works. We teach you how to educate them. Some people will enroll. They will. All right, well, that was a lot. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Make sure you have your landing page. Having a landing page to drive people is great. Everyone should have their landing page. If not, schedule your one-on-one. We'll make sure you have your landing page with the automation behind it. Works well. Facebook marketing is incredible. We talked about that earlier this week. $5 a day you can pay to Facebook, not to me, but to Facebook. And I think literally everyone that's doing that Facebook marketing campaign is averaging 100 qualified leads a month. I mean, it's crazy good. Crazy good. So if anyone needs individual help, reach out to us, right? You know how to reach out to us, and we'll be back Monday morning. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.